Hello, this is KYC News. We provide you with the most up-to-date and reliable information for the day. First and foremost, we want to achieve perfect health with a sincere desire. In the wake of the Ukraine war, the G7 summit. China issues a military threat. Pakistan transports assistance to earthquake-stricken Afghanistan. In the wake of the Ukraine war, the G7 summit. The G7 conference in Germany will cover topics like war, climate change, hunger, poverty, and health. Olaf Scholz, the Chancellor, will have a big chance to lead effectively in this situation. The breathtaking scene in southern Bavaria is like something out of a fairy tale: towering snow-capped mountains, lush green meadows, and azure river basins. The G7 summit of the leaders of France, the United Kingdom, Italy, Japan, Canada, and the United States will take place here, beginning on Sunday, in the five-star Hotel Schloss Elmau, under the auspices of German Chancellor Olaf Scholz. During Germany's previous G7 chairmanship in 2015, the hotel had previously demonstrated its suitability as the site for the summit. Its location in a valley above Garmisch-Partenkirchen is difficult to access but simple to secure, and it provides a surreal backdrop for photographs of the political spectacle. To prevent protesters from upsetting the peace, at least 18,000 police personnel and a 16-kilometer-long, 10-mile, security fence will be in place. Visitors will be transported by helicopter. Bavaria and the federal government of Germany have set aside €180 million, $190 million, just for security. Climate change and conflict. The lovely setting is in sharp contrast to the urgent issues that will be covered. The summit's theme is progress towards an equal world, and the main topic of discussion will be the Russian invasion of Ukraine and its profound and existential implications. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, wanting to convey that the G7 is steadfast and united, highlighted that the G7 is of extraordinary importance this year. Germany has a significant role to play as host, and Scholz might take advantage of this to restore some shine to his damaged reputation. In recent weeks, Germany has come in for a lot of foreign criticism. Scholz proclaimed an abrupt change in German foreign and security policy, a significant rearmament of the Bundeswehr military formations, and the delivery of heavy weaponry to Ukraine shortly after the commencement of hostilities in February. However, the government's machinery moved slowly. The Chancellor was viewed as reluctant and waffle-like. Weapons delivery were put off, and Scholz stayed away from Kyiv for a while. He appeared to be negotiating in order to keep the channels of communication open with Russian President Vladimir Putin. His hesitation, nevertheless, was also motivated by factors that were considerably more personal and within his own political party. When it comes to this alleged turning point, the center-left Social Democrats are far from unanimous. The Social Democrats have a strong history of pacifism and the belief that Russia must play a role in any attempted peace in Europe. Within months, Russia will give Belarus nuclear-capable missiles, according to Putin. President Vladimir Putin announced during his meeting with Alexander Lukashenko of Belarus that Russia will provide missiles with nuclear warheads to Belarus in the upcoming months. At the opening of his meeting with Lukashenko on Saturday in St. Petersburg, Putin declared in a broadcast on Russian television that we would give to Belarus Iskander-M tactical missile systems, which may utilize ballistic or cruise missiles, in their conventional and nuclear versions. Amid rising tensions with the West over Ukraine, Putin reportedly offered to equip Belarus warplanes so they could carry nuclear weapons. The Belarusian military operates a large number of Su-25 aircraft. They could be appropriately updated, Russian president remarked. After Lukashenko urged him to adapt the planes, he said, "This modernization should be carried out in aircraft manufacturers in Russia and the training of staff should start in accordance with this. On how to do this, we will agree," Putin added. Since his nation began a military campaign in Ukraine on February 24, Putin has made numerous references to nuclear weapons, which the West has interpreted as a threat not to intervene. Last month, Lukashenko said that his nation had purchased S-400 anti-aircraft anti-missile systems and Iskander nuclear-capable missiles from Russia. Turkey is rethinking the death penalty following Erdogan's comments about wildfires, a ministry. Following wildfires earlier this week that led President Recep Tayyip Erdogan to increase the death sentence, Turkey is prepared to re-evaluate its nearly two-decade-old decision to abolish the death penalty, Justice Minister Bekir Bozdağ said on Saturday. After a suspected purposeful fire in the country's western Aegean area burned over 4,500 hectares, 11,119 acres, of coastal forest, which authorities say has now been contained, Erdogan said on Friday that stricter measures were needed against arsonists, according to the Yeni Akit newspaper. The Turkish president said that the measure should be intimidating enough to result in death sentences. Speaking to reporters in the eastern town of Ar on Saturday, Bozdağ was quoted by the NTV network as saying that Erdogan's remarks are directives to us. The Turkish parliament will take the required action, he continued. In keeping with our efforts, we will release a statement. One individual was detained by Turkish authorities on Friday in connection with the flames. According to Turkish media, the alleged arsonists acknowledged to lighting the fires in a fit of rage over a family quarrel. The flames this week brought back memories of last year's blazes, which were the worst on record for the nation. More than 2,105 forest fires burnt more than 140,000 hectares, 345,950 acres, of Turkey's countryside last year. 8 persons lost their lives in the weeks-long fires that broke out across the Mediterranean and Aegean regions in July 2021. As part of talks to join the European Union, Turkey abolished the death sentence in 2004. China issues a military threat. Chinese ambassador to France Liu She has stated that Beijing will use all available tools, including military ones, to reclaim authority over Taiwan. During his interview with YouTube channel Livre Noir on Thursday, Liu insisted, "We can't leave Taiwan autonomous. We will recapture Taiwan by all available measures, including force. What other options do we have if we can't peacefully bring the nation back together?" He emphasized, becoming the latest Chinese official to issue such a caution. The envoy has accused the U.S. of inciting unrest in the region of Taiwan as well as in Ukraine, where Russia is still conducting combat operations. He declared, "The Americans aim to create 2 world wars, one in Europe and one in Asia." Liu, however, disapproved of any analogies made between China's potential action against Taiwan and Russian activities in Ukraine. Taiwan is not an independent nation. It has always been an essential component of China, he said. In order to prevent collusion activities between Taiwan independence forces and the U.S. administration, Beijing has recently intensified its marine and aerial military action around the island. Despite having its own government since 1949, Taiwan has never fully separated from China. Accordingly, Beijing regards the 23.5 million person island as a part of its own territory for purposes of the One China policy. Washington maintains close unofficial connections with Taipei, supplying the island weapons and supporting its efforts to gain sovereignty, even though it officially supports the One China policy. Such contacts have been denounced by Beijing as provocations and intrusions into China's domestic affairs on several occasions. President Joe Biden stated last month that if China decides to use force in the future, the U.S. will uphold its pledge to defend Taiwan. Pakistan transports assistance to earthquake-stricken Afghanistan. Tents, food, and medical supplies were delivered to the mountainous region on Saturday by a Pakistani military cargo jet providing aid for the injured and homeless left by the earthquake in Afghanistan. This week's strong earthquake in eastern Afghanistan, which state media reported killed 1,150 people, left thousands more people affected. 5 more people perished on Friday from an aftershock. The relief supplies Pakistan delivered on Saturday were distributed to Taliban officials, according to Mansour Ahmad Khan, Pakistan's ambassador in Kabul. "It was our responsibility to support our Afghan brethren during this trying time," he remarked. Neighboring before the Taliban took control of the country last August as US-led international forces began their 20-year withdrawal, Pakistan was frequently charged with harboring Taliban fighters. Since the takeover, Islamabad has taken the lead in urging the international community to cooperate with the Taliban administration. Earlier, the government of Pakistan and a Pakistani charity dispatched 13 lorries filled with food, tents, supplies, and other necessities to Afghanistan. Doctors and paramedics from Pakistan have been assisting the Taliban-run government of Afghanistan in coast. Near the Pakistani border, a rural, extremely underdeveloped area of small towns and villages hidden among rocky mountains was devastated by an earthquake that caused stone and mud brick dwellings to collapse and, in some cases, the deaths of entire families. According to state media, about 3,000 homes were completely demolished or severely damaged in the regions of Paktika and Khost. Officials announced on Saturday that Pakistan has opened its northwest border to allow the transfer of seriously injured Afghans to Pakistani hospitals. Unknown is the number of Afghans who came for medical care. According to the UN Children's Agency's representative in Afghanistan, 121 children were among the 121 people who died as a result of Wednesday's magnitude 6.1 earthquake. About 70 kids, he claimed, had injuries. In the Paktika province area of Gaya, Daulat Khan reported that the earthquake had injured 5 members of his family and destroyed his home. "We have a lot of issues," he told the Associated Press. "We need all kinds of support, and we want the world community and Afghans who can help to come forward and aid us." Damage from the earthquake and rain made rusty routes across the highlands, which were already difficult to drive on, worse. The International Red Cross operates 5 hospitals in the area, but Lucien Crisson, ICRC's spokesman in Afghanistan, said that individuals in the worst-hit districts had a difficult time getting to them due to the road damage. On Saturday, food and other needs were brought to residents of Gaya by a military chopper from Afghanistan. In order to wait for food, water, and tents from the Afghan Red Crescent, dozens of men and children gathered in an open area beneath the blazing sun. The charity organization announced that it would provide aid to around 1,000 families in the area. Medical supplies from the World Health Organization were brought to the main hospital in Erdogan, the province of Paktika's capital. In addition to tarpaulins for the homeless to use as tents, UNICEF supplied blankets and essential supplies to the earthquake-affected villages. UNICEF supplied water purification pills, soap, and other hygiene supplies to the Spera district in the Coast province. Aid organizations expressed concern that cholera could spread due to damage to the water and sewage infrastructure.